into a respective cult, it is very difficult for them to emotionally detach themselves, because if they begin to consider that there is a true defeater for Islam, then they have to conclude that their parents, their relatives, their brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, ancestors, grandparents, their culture, their nationality, when they come from Islamic countries typically, but not always, right, that all these people are wrong.
Wait, could you, not to cut you off or anything, but like, would you
want your username? What is your username? What is your username? If you don't identify yourself, you're not speaking.
It was Fleur.
It was not me. It was Foxy.
Okay, so this never fails to happen. Maybe today or tomorrow it will fail to happen, but it never fails to happen that Muslims, without fail, in my experience, they just go into bickering mode, where they just become deceptive. This is what they do. Okay? Same things with the atheists.
I'm an atheist.
How is it bickering?
So let's see. Okay, so you're an atheist. Let's see how long it takes you to resort to deception. Right? Let's see. Ready, folks? Somebody start the clock. Tell me why you're an atheist.
There we go. Sign it up.
Just affirm the not God worldview.
Okay. Tell me why that's true.
Because God doesn't exist.
Okay, what is your username? If you do not answer me in 5 seconds, you're out of the conversation. Okay, you're out. Okay? See, it took them less than a minute to be deceptive, right then and there. Okay?
Actually, it's like 18 seconds, but
yeah, less than a minute. So when you talk to, I'm an atheist. Oh, okay. So tell me why you're an atheist. Atheism, in the English language, refers to that there is no creator, there's no God. But atheists lie, and they try to bastardize the standard English meaning and saying, atheism is just an autobiographical statement about my psychology. I'm just absent a positive belief. Okay? They're simply trying to misrepresent their atheism because they can't defend their atheism. So they have to pervert the standard meaning of atheism from being propositional that there is no creator to golly gee shucks, I'm just unconvinced that there's a God, and that I'm unconvinced that there's a Loch Ness monster.
Wait, I don't understand why we're like committed to that definition, right? I'm not like a normative realist about like lexicon.
What is your username?
My username is Joseph, but when we appeal to definitions, all a definition is for some expression is some corresponding mental content that the agent expresses or conveys.
You can stop with the sophistry.
Wait, what species of sophistry?
Listen to me. If you overtalk me, I will server mute you and you will be out of the conversation. Do you understand the rules?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was debating these issues when you were still playing with your Legos. Okay. Now, you want to play this little definitional game that words are polysemous. Okay. Words are to be understood in the way people use them. Okay, fine. That's fine under certain context. But the fact of the matter is this. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, if you are evasive, you're going to be out of the conversation. Do you understand? I don't have to agree with you, but you must not be evasive. Now, is there a single word in the English language that is used throughout the entire English world that designates those who deny the existence of God?
Penis.
Well, I wouldn't know.
Okay, have a nice day. Then you're too stupid to carry on the conversation.
Is it just gonna be?
No, you're a liar. You're a liar because
you just mean atheism.
Okay, you're done. Let me find your name.
Wait.
Darth, is it okay if I say something, Darth, very quickly, or is that right with you? Or no?
Darth,
Sorry,
did you give your wife herpes?
What did I do?
Darth, is it okay if I say something quickly, or is that should I wait?
No, you can say something. You're a retarded.
Okay. I just want to know. I don't want to.
People who are new to the room, if you overtalk anyone else, I will mute you. So it'll take me a few seconds because I'm on mobile. I'm not in front of my laptop right at this moment, but you will get muted. Okay. If you want to heckle, you want to troll, go somewhere else.
Are you trying to play God? I think that's against the Bible.
Yeah, I'd say the universal ultimate is just reality.
Darth, I have a question.
The problem with that, and this is a very common mistake that people make, is you are, first of all,
people don't make mistakes, man. God made all mistakes. God made all things. People don't make things, man.
I hear no one's talking. I just want to know if it's okay with you, Darth, if I just quickly, if I could just say something. I just want to make sure, because I don't want to get muted, obviously.
What's your username?
My username is Patrick. I don't know if it has a period at the end. Yeah, just Patrick, no period. We did have one poor interaction in the past, which I apologize about.
Please be quick.
It's just small. I just really appreciate your work. I like your stuff on YouTube. I've seen some of your debates. I like the stuff that you put out, or the stuff that people put out regarding you, even if it's, they're trying to put you in a bad light. I just appreciate your stuff. That's all.
All my opponents and detractors, all they have is just trolling. They're
liars.
They are. They're pathological about it.
Every single time without fail.
Darth, why aren't you a Catholic?
That's true.
Okay, so where were we in terms of the previous discussion about
with like Olga or something? Should like unmute them? I think they're what we want to respond to the things you wanted to say.
Okay, so we were talking about the definition of atheism. Okay, now I understand that there are times that philosophically educated academics who are atheists like to use the word atheism as an umbrella category, and that's fine in terms of let's say an academic presentation. Okay, and in a certain sense, I can agree with that. But people try to adopt atheism rather than in its standard usage in the English language of the denial of the creator. They try to bastardize it to mean an autobiographical statement wherein they merely and only have an absence of a positive belief that does not in any sense constitute the denial therein. Okay? Now, this is a very intellectually poor attempt to evade responsibility to support their position. They're purposely bastardizing the meaning of the word while still wearing it as a label for themselves, but then basically representing themselves as being undifferentiatable from agnostics.
Darth, I have a question.
Yeah, fix your microphone first.
Oh, sorry. I have a question. So with all the muting you do you like the sound of your own voice?
Gotcha. Anything else?
Dun 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 dun.
Hi,
Like typically a conversation takes two people. Right?
Can I ask a question? My username is Standard. Can I? Start.
Canvas model.
Are you here?
Dude, he fucking like croaked. Holy shit.
Darth.
He went to the shadow realm.
It's over, man.
No, I'm kicking people out.
Oh, okay.
So atheists continue to play this little 14-year-old game, and even some atheists who are adults do this, that their atheism is only an autobiographical statement.
Can I ask you a question that's not related to atheism?
Yeah, make it fast.
So what's true of an animal that makes it okay to kill them for food, that if true of humans would make it okay to kill them for food?
Because
So?
because the creator has sanctioned that.
So if creator said that it's okay to kill your mother, would you agree with it?
God used humans as instruments to kill people in the past. The bottom line is what you're trying to do is come up with these little gotcha questions. Now, are you an atheist?
No, I'm. Who are you asking?
The guy who's talked about killing animals.
Oh, I'm a theist.
Wait, can I? To be clear, we want something like.
Are
Do you
you?
think?
Please do not interrupt.
To be precise, I'm a Christian.
Listen. Okay, are you a vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you raised the question. Yeah, in the Old Testament, after the flood, God gave permission to use animals as food.
What's the morally relevant difference? So between humans and animals, it's God's permission.
Okay, so are you familiar with the Christian worldview?
What?
Are you familiar with the Christian worldview?
Yeah, but I don't accept.
In the Christian worldview, well, that's fine. I understand your position, but in the Christian worldview, and that's the position that I hold to, God has given sanction to using animals for food in accordance with his plan of creation and redemptive history.
Well, to be fair, I mean, in the Proverbs 12, 10 states, like the righteousness, man's regards
If I
his animals.
catch anybody over talking, one more time, if I catch you over talking, I will not just server mute whoever is over talking, I will kick you from the room. Okay?
So what would be the symmetry breaker for being okay with eating animals but not with eating humans?
Okay.
God's permission,
You
basically.
told me you're familiar with the Christian worldview. Are you familiar with the concept that man is made in God's image?
Yeah, so that would be the symmetry breaker, right?
Yes. So God said in the Bible, I'm trying to answer you. You want an answer or not?
Sure.
Okay. So the mind of God is the ultimate authority and how he reveals it. And in his revelation to and through Noah, God sanctioned the killing of animals for food. Now, but we are not allowed in the Bible to indiscriminately kill humans, but we are.
I got it. But let's say I mean, it's logically possible that aliens exist, and they wouldn't be.
Some people never learn in childhood to be polite, so we're done. Okay.
Can I speak and ask you a question?
Yeah, what's your username?
Independent. Yeah. So presumably, like, nothing in your Bible states anything about the moral status of aliens. So, under your view, would it be okay for you to, I don't know, rape, murder, torture aliens? Fun.
Yeah, this is a childish question. What aliens?
Aliens. So, I mean,
what reason? Okay, from a biblical perspective, what reason would you have to believe that there is life on other planets? And how would you be able to travel to another planet?
God created a reason.
What you're going to have to do in order to answer that, you're going to have to engage in multiple grandiose hypotheticals. Even if you could travel at the speed of light, as 300,000 kilometers per second. Okay?
It's just going to be like a hypothetical, right? It's got to be.
Yes. Bottom line is there's no reason at this juncture, from a biblical perspective, to believe that there is life or sentient life on other planets. Could there be? There could be. But even if there were, would be short of divine providential interdiction moving us from one location to another. You won't have the opportunity to do so. So what reason do you have to believe that from either a biblical or a non-biblical perspective that there's life on another planet?
So I mean, well, for one, I mean the idea right now I'm getting at is simply like, well,
Before you answer, please answer whether you are answering within the frame of reference of a biblical or a non-biblical worldview. So you can choose either which, but you need to identify which it is. What justification do you have that there is other life on other planets?
yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be familiar.
Okay, so we're done with it. It's a moot point then.
Well, the mute point. Well, I'm still talking about like kind of like under your intuitions about the matter, right? Not talking about and regarding what the Bible states.
It's not something that I consider worthy of discussion. We're done.
Or presumably you have like an attitude towards like
presumably we're done. Right?
Presumably we're not done, and you like dodged the question I asked you.
No, I didn't dodge the question. In fact, I answered.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and answer the question. So, would you like for like an alien to be killed and raped?
This is why I disdain and loathe talking with teenage minds in Discord. Okay.
Darth, I have a question. Do you have like a formal argument for Christianity or anything?
I mean, a syllogism?
That's right.
They said yes.
I take it that you don't accept Christianity?
Yeah, that's right.
What is your model of reality?
Is that supposed to be the argument? Because on my view, questions don't count as arguments. It's like Logic 101, are you retarded?
Okay, have a nice day. You decided you wanted to...
How about you press the red button on your hospital bed? Look, just give the argument. Why is this guy so...
Darth, what do you think the most compelling argument for God is?
The world around us unambiguously reveals God and by his purpose. And such a state of affairs is rationally undeniable. Okay? In other words, argumentation wouldn't even be possible unless it were the case that God existed, constructed a world, placed us in us, and endowed us with the ability to reason and to contextualize certain propositions. When you ask what's the argument for that, you're asking for the contextualization. Okay? So the bottom line is this. Either it is the case that God's existence is unambiguously clear through everything that he has made and by his purpose, or not. The case that the creation unambiguously reveals God is rationally defensible. The case that it is not unambiguously clear is not rationally defensible. Okay? So you and I have no other choice but to accept that God is, and we know this by virtue that by his purpose he constructed the world to unambiguously reveal himself, being in that his mind, his purpose, and his plan are what institutes and secures what anything is in any given moment, right? That these things possess identity, or I should say relative identity, but relative identity can only exist if and only if there's an absolute identity that is characteristically the mind of God. Deny that scenario, and you won't be able to talk about the identity of things around you. Now, you think you will, but your model of reality will not be able to provide a basis for identity statement. Okay? So if there is relative identity, It's going to have to be revelatory of the ultimate absolute identity, God, and by his purpose, and without which you won't be able to contextualize any identity statements for dog, trees, rocks. Okay? Now, the reason why people ask for arguments for God per se, okay, is because they are still committed to their sinful disposition. They are so habituated to their sinful disposition that, no pun intended, it's second nature to them. Okay? They're so habituated to it, it's normal for them to want to deny God to one degree or another. Okay? And that is what motivates them to say, well, what's the argument? Because somebody who's already accepted that the world unambiguously reveals God and by his purpose, and that it's radically undeniable, would never ask such a question. So that means that the individual then has decided that the world is individually and collectively ambiguous with reference to God. If it's ambiguous to God, then their model of reality is shrouded in complete mystery. So they have no identifiable, defensible, ultimate context that contextualizes anything. No final contextualization, then nothing means anything. You can't tell me that please do, just wait. You can't tell me that a dog is a dog and a cat is a cat, okay, or water flows down in a river, right, without you having either an explicit or an implicit ultimate frame of reference. Otherwise, nothing would mean anything. It wouldn't be anything. So the reason why the unbelievers who approach the subjects, they're in a state of persistent denial that they're suppressing the truth and unrighteousness. They're in a persistent state of denial that they're psychologically deceiving themselves about God's existence because they don't want God to exist, right? They want either God not to exist or for God's existence to be such that it is ambiguous, that it is indistinguishable from God not existing, right? But none of those can be defended rationally. They're all irrational. That is why when I engage atheists and agnostics, they always, without exception, verbally deploy evasion and deception. Always. I have yet to find one atheist who remains an atheist who does not resort to one or more lines of deception.
Are you done?
A multiplicity of distortion.
I don't want to interrupt you, so.
You don't want to interrupt the filibuster.
So provided that somebody finds that argument compelling, right? What then? So that would give you a proof of a God or a ultimate. Why does that have to be the Christian God?
Why? Because the Christian God has not only revealed himself unambiguously through creation, but he's also unambiguously revealed himself through the course of history, through the prophets, culminating in the person of Jesus Christ in his final self-disclosure of himself. And that Jesus Christ's identity claims, when properly understood in terms of his character and attribute set, are such that they are exclusive, meaning representing that model of reality, the Christian worldview, with Christ being Lord and Creator, that it is indispensable, it is exclusive. No other worldview can have that attribute set at the ground of being, and that attribute set is indispensable. In other words, if you dismiss it, if you so much disregard it as not being substantive to accept, you will have no fundamental, identifiable, defensible attribute set that will allow you to speak intelligibly about your world, including yourself. So, for example, is oxygen exclusive and indispensable for remaining alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we can show that oxygen is life-giving and life-preserving, and that the denial thereof is impossible. Likewise, the same is true of the attribute set and its self-identity statements of Jesus Christ representing the triune God of the Bible. His attribute set, which includes him being creator and his plan of creation, about how the world is, how it operates, and where it is going, is exclusive and indispensable. So that is how you and I can know with certainty, short of omniscience, the way God purposed for us to know that what he reveals is self-authenticating and the denial thereof is impossible. If you so much as do not accept it, it is a de facto denial. So then you're going to have to explain what it is that is.
Can you stop monologuing, please?
Okay. Well, this is my role.
You gotta let other people talk. To
You're filibuster.
Okay, so that was a known multi-year troll. So see, this is what these little pricks do. They have nothing better to do than to parachute in and try to be disruptive. Sometimes grown men coming in because they don't like the message. They don't like the fact that the message is successfully presented and vanquishes all those who oppose it. So what they need to come in and they start acting like they are.
Darth, I have a question. Darth, I have a question.
So provided that I'm paraphrasing here to keep it short, right? Provided that creation or like the existence of one second, I need to turn this person down. Provided that creation in itself is revealing to us, right? And that the ability to, I guess, in a sense, have knowledge is revealing to us, right? Why do we need I don't understand how we go from that to believing everything about Christ. Why do we have to believe that? We can just believe in a God.
Just explain that to you, okay? Okay. Because
I guess I just didn't find it very compelling.
Well, first of all, whatever God you're going to put on the table, whatever God you're going to put on the table is an attempt to render the identity claims of Jesus Christ representing the triune God as superfluous. What you are actually doing is a kind of worldview body devilism, okay? You are not actually presenting your model of reality, are you?
No, I wasn't. I was asking you about yours.
I just asked you a question. Are you presenting yeah, well, it wasn't clear. Are you presenting your model of reality to defeat and make super unnecessary the Christian God model of reality?
No.
Okay. Then whatever model of reality you're believing with, you're presenting something that you consider to be false.
Sorry, I'm confused. What have I presented?
When you present an alternative model of reality in order to render the Christian worldview, the Christian God, as superfluous, the model of reality that you're presenting will either be yours or another. Okay? Since you said it is not your model of reality, then it must be another, correct?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
A nice day. Okay? We're done.
Why is it hard to clarify your position?
Yeah, when I have to go over something 3, 4, 5 times, then the person is either intellectually ill-equipped and needs remedial help, or they're just trolling. So we're done.
Oh, come on! I don't think that's fair in either case. You don't know that.
Look, I made myself very clear, and I went through this methodically. When you are attempting to render the Christian worldview, the Christian God, as superfluous, you will either be presenting your worldview or another. I said to him, presenting your worldview. He said no, which means he is presenting another model of reality in an attempt to render the Christian worldview as superfluous. Are we clear so far?
Yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
Okay. So when you attempt to oppose and neutralize the Christian worldview by invoking another worldview that is not your own, okay, that is something we could call a worldview body doubleism. Okay, so from his worldview, any other worldview is necessarily false. So he's appealing to what he, from his perspective, is a false model of reality in order to mitigate against the Christian worldview. So that reasoning that he's giving is utterly fallacious. From his perspective, he's appealing to a false worldview.
Well, here's the thing. There is an argument for the existence of God through multiplicity. Since the gods of various religions differ wildly in their characteristics, only one of these religions or none can be right about God. So for you, it's Christianity. For someone else, it might be Muslim. For someone else, it might be Judaism. You know, it's contextual with life, right?
Sure,
unless you've seen something that I haven't.
Did you understand what I said to you?
I did understand what you're saying, and I'm saying that's a rebuttal.
Did you understand why what he was saying was fallacious on his own terms?
Sure.
Okay, so then you should be agreeing.
Clarify that I'm not a boy. So could you stop calling me he and like him and stuff?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up too, but I don't know. I didn't want to catch mute.
No. So this happens all the time. People invoke worldview body doubleism, and they're not even aware of its fallacious character. And then when you point it out to them step by step why it's fallacious, they just ignore it. This is, you know the interesting thing is the people that I have the most difficult time with are not so much the outright disrupted trolls or people who are sincerely and vigorously disagreeing. Is that when I offer a critique and a defeater for what they're saying, they don't offer a counter rebuttal, and then they just ignore my critique, and then they just keep on going on the way they were.
Sometimes people don't have counter rebuttals, though. You know what I mean?
This is called
I could directly relate this.
Do you hear me talking? Do you hear me talking?
Good.
Okay. In this room, I'm the king of the hill. Okay. Now, you're free to disagree with me, but you're not free to overtalk me. Now, this is the little game that they play, the little adolescent at the cafeteria table. They just ignore the devastating defeater that I present to what they're saying. They just ignore it, and then they just keep on.
Darth, can you relate this to the 7 Hermetic principles?
Darth, I have a question.
I mean, I suppose my point about multiplicity isn't going to be even talked about.
Yeah, it's not going to be talked about. Darth, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. You could ask first.
Darth, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So, my question is, what's your solution to the logical problem of the Trinity?
The logical problem. Dude, how is nobody laughing right now? That's crazy.
What is the logical problem?
Yeah, so it's just simply like saying, like, premise 1, right? The Father is God. Premise 2, the Son is God. So it'd follow that the Son is the Father via law of transitivity. And there's a separate end that there's a separate logical problem, which is saying that they're all distinct.
You're very ill experienced on this subject. Okay, is when we say that Jesus is God, does the word God there refer? Is it speaking? Is it a statement of identity or quality?
If it's a statement of equality, then that would just be committing you to modalism.
No, that would not. Listen, I don't think you understood the import of my question. Okay, so
no, I understood.
No, you didn't. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why you didn't. Okay, you're making an elementary mistake. Anytime anybody introduces the law of transitivity of identity, you're making a statement. Okay, it's not making a statement of quantifiable identity. It's making a statement of qualitativeness.
Oh, so God's like qualitatively God? Oh, sorry, the Son's qualitatively God.
If you listen, please do not overtalk me. Okay.
Can you overtalk me?
Okay. Have a nice day, sir. You're done.
No, like I'm asking you if you can overtalk me, if that's allowed, because I need to know like when I can speak or not.
Where do they amalgamate these jokers? Like, dude, this is ridiculous. Can we just have a good, like, intellectual proposition?
He's now gagged. Okay, they want to be rude, and then they pretend they're not being rude. Yeah, he's making this stupid teenage remark, this elementary mistake that when we say the Father is God, Jesus is God. When we say Jesus is God and the Father is God, we're not speaking of God quantitatively. Okay? We're speaking that they are God qualitatively, not quantitatively.
The law of identity works for both qualities and quantities.
But the point is this. It is when we say Jesus is God, we're not saying Jesus is the Trinity. We're saying Jesus is God in that any identity statement that possesses one or more attributes that only God can possess, okay, then that in question is God. So the Trinity is God because the Trinity collectively possesses the attributes that only God can possess. Jesus is God.
Okay, so then you would you admit that it violates the law of identity.
It was mathematician.
Well, he's just saying that he violates the law of identity, and that's cool. That's a logical contradiction. You're doing the thing that you were accused of doing.